Hello, hello, and happy Saturday! How is everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing well. We have 5 spikes and a belly to make for this little cutie. We made him a new tail last time. Look at that cute little tail. I think I may have accidentally sewn it on a bit sideways somehow. I think it moved, but whatever. He still looks cute. And eventually, he'll be able to stand on his own without needing support. I think what it is that the bottom of him isn't fully, like, I don't know if I stuffed the bottom enough, and so it's not quite flat, but that's okay. That's okay. It's our first one. My brother-in-law is still gonna love it. There we go. Got a little bit of morning phlegm today, but I have water to make sure we are nice and hydrated. Hello, Dusty. You got 4 inches of snow? That is fantastic. You guys, I would love a snow day. Good morning, Amethyst. Excuse me just a second while I clean my glasses a bit. Sometimes when I do my morning routine, some of the lotion I use on my face ends up on my glasses, and then that makes it a bit harder to see. It's like a film of lotion, and that's kind of hard to see through. So how was everybody's week? What has everybody been up to since Tuesday? We had, let's see, I had Awana on Wednesday, which went fantastic for the most part. We had a couple little things, but they were easily addressed, easily fixed. And then, let's see, Thursday was dinner with the family. And then yesterday was a cleaning day. Yesterday was cleaning and getting a little bit of shopping done. So as you can see behind me, I have managed to clean my room up a bit. I found a few things that I still need to get a home for, but I'm also out of room on my bookshelf. So I've got my 2 little corners of stuff that need a home, but there's not even all that much stuff in the corners that need a home, because this corner over here, that is my travel corner. And so my travel corner is my corner of stuff that I keep anything that I need, like bags, duffels, things like that I use when I'm traveling. And so that corner can be, I can handle having that corner be a bit messy. That corner, I just have the stuff that's on top of the totes that needs a little bit more of a home. And a couple of those things are my diplomas, which were hanging up, but then the command strips gave out, and I was like, oh man. So we gotta find a new way to get those back up and running. So we're gonna pretty much try and dive right in today, I think, because I am going to try to end right at 11. I gotta close there we go, my thing of my case of crochet hooks, and then all of my stitch counters and markers and things. But I'm gonna end right at 11 because I want to get up an hour or so north, because I have family coming in for a visit. So it's going to be a good day today. We're going to make some spikes for Fred Dino. We're going to give him a little belly, and it is going to be perfect. It's been below freezing since Monday. Wow. I think we reached freezing at about 1 a.m., but I was like sound asleep. I was already under my covers and everything, sound asleep in bed at that point. You made $85 shoveling snow? Nice, Galaxy. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. And then yesterday I also got to go to my pastor's son's basketball game, which was fun. Because, A, they won, but B, they are playing together as a team, and it is so good to see them finally coming together as a team. It's so exciting. Like, of course, like any team, they have their moments, their ups and downs, but overall, they are doing so well. So well. So, you guys, let's go ahead and pray, because I am going to go ahead and get started on these spikes. And we are going to make sure that we can finish this before I need to leave. Hey, good morning, Techie. How's your Saturday starting off? I have quite a few games on Nintendo. I have Mario Wonder. I have some Japanese visual novels. I have, let's see, Mario Odyssey. I have a few Legend of Zelda games. So yeah, and I think I do have Animal Crossing New Horizons, which I have not played in forever. So pretty sure they all think I'm dead. Again. You got it, Dusty. We are definitely praying for LA. We are definitely praying for LA and those affected by all the wildfires out there. If you are in the LA area and you need anything, please feel free to drop me a DM. Let me know what I can do to help. Okay? Good. I'm glad you're doing well so far. Alright, you guys, any prayer requests, please feel free to drop them in chat. I will look up partway through the prayer to make sure I don't miss anything. And then we are going to do some crochet. Dear Lord, thank you so much for who you are. Thank you for how much you love us. Thank you for how you made this world and how everything in it is a piece of you. You are so evident in all of creation, Lord. I ask that you be with each and every person here, Lord. I ask that you guide and direct our paths, Lord. Wherever we need to go in life, whatever we need guidance and direction in, Lord. Let us be on the path that you have chosen for us, that you have laid before us. I ask that you be with Soul in an Earthsuit as she's getting ready to start class soon. I ask that you be with her, help her be able to grasp and understand everything being taught, Lord. I think she has her retake on a test coming up, so I ask that you give her a calm mind and help her be able to pass that exam. I ask that you be with her dad and grant him healing in his shoulder. I ask that you be in their relationship, Lord, and help them to be able to communicate better, let them have respect for boundaries. I ask that you be with her driving, Lord. Help her to be able to gain confidence, Lord. I understand completely that driving anxiety is something that can never really fully go away, Lord, but I ask that you lessen it to a more tolerable level. I ask that you be with those in LA, those that are affected by these fires, those that are fighting the fires, those that have lost everything, Lord. I ask that you give everybody peace and comfort and strength, Lord. Let these fires get under control quickly, Lord. I ask that you be with Tie-Dye Chef Dave and his work, and just let everything go well there. I ask that you be with Bearded Beowulf and his job. I ask that you be with Legend of Zyro and his family. Be with DLC and guide and direct us, Lord. I ask that you be with Amethyst and Kitty and Kishu and Spark and Dreamer and Starlina and Lotu and just everybody here who just needs to know and feel your love and your presence, Lord, who needs your guidance and direction, who has any prayer requests spoken or unspoken. Be with Galaxy, be with Dusty, be with Malou, be with each and every person who is here, who is going to come, who is not here, Lord. I ask safe travels for those that are traveling. I ask that anybody who is struggling physically, whether illness or injury, that you heal them, Lord. Anybody who's struggling mentally, will be with them as well, Lord. Let us have a fun time of fellowship today. Be with Amethyst unspoken as well, Lord. I ask that whatever it is be resolved according to your will, Lord. I ask that you be with us and give us a fun time of fellowship today. Let us be able to get Fred Dino complete and help us to just have fun. Help me to be able to understand the videos and what they're wanting us to do, Lord. And in your name I pray. Amen. How's it going, Amethyst? I hope you're doing well. And if you need anything, if you feel more comfortable saying the unspoken in a DM, or if you would rather it just be completely unspoken, A-okay, you can reach out to me anytime. Alright, you guys. I have my yellow yarn. I managed to get it all untangled. We're gonna go to the game screen. Get
Next
the
up, the spikes. Grab your yellow yarn and make 5 of these. One thing I want to show you is that when you do the invisible fasten off, it's going to take your piece from looking like a circle into a cone.
And no pressure whatsoever. If you just want me to keep praying for it as an unspoken, that is A-okay as well.
So notice how when I finish that invisible fasten off, all of a sudden my flat shape becomes like a little pita pocket. Also, if you haven't already, make sure that you flip your piece inside out so that the right side of the piece is facing out.
Alright, so we are making our... I might need to look up again how to do the invisible fasten off, because I don't remember 100% how to. Alright, so we need to do our magic loop. We are going to chain 1, chain 2, and then we are going to go, we're going to mark that first one with a green stitch marker, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting 4 single crochets into that loop. Oh, I yarned over when I should not have. See, you guys, I double crochet so often. I am still doing that. So, there's 1 single crochet. So we are going to mark that with our orange stitch marker. We're going to get that out of the way, but actually we need to go through the whole thing. So I am going to go ahead and do this. Make that loop nice and big so that I can take the hook out for a minute while I work to get this stitch marker through. There we go. As the French say, parfait. All right, so that is 1. So we need to do that 3 more times into that same hole. There's our second one. Third. Let's see. Hold on, because once again, my yarn tail has gotten caught there. Let's see. So we'll just do this. Well, part of the issue is that my thing keeps moving. But what we can do is something like that. Well, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to try this again. See if I can maybe make the hole ever so slightly bigger. Because sometimes when I get to those multiple ones, I have a hard time. Well, hello there, Marnius. How you doing? I hope you're doing super duper well. All right, so we're gonna do it once again. 1. Mark that particular stitch with the green stitch marker. Got a bit of a headache? Oh man. Well, Lord, I ask that you be with Marnius. I ask that you remove his headache. Let him be able to have a fantastic day today, Lord, headache free. And in your name I pray. Amen. There we go. I'll see if I can hold it up. I only have one camera, so that makes it a little more difficult for you guys to be able to see me. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in to this stitch here that's marked by the green stitch marker. So far I'm doing well. I woke up, had my coffee and a protein shake, and then got my morning face routine done, and then started upstream. So it has been a really good day. We're going to mark this first stitch. Oh, you're so welcome. You are so, so welcome. We're going to mark that first stitch with our orange stitch marker. Get the hook back into the loop. We got to do 3 more. So here is 1. Come on, my tension may be just a bit too tight. Yeah, tension's just a smidge tight. There we go. 2. 3 and loosen our tension just a bit. 4. So now we are able to get rid of our green stitch marker for now. Set that to the side. So now we single crochet and increase stitch for 2. So, found our orange stitch marker. We're going to single crochet. Oh, all of a sudden, let's go back a step, because all of a sudden when I did that, I lost sight of all my other V's. Alright. Single crochet. Let's turn our piece ever so slightly and see if we can find the V that way. No. Okay, I may be doing this a bit wrong. Maybe we do it, because I've got a real big hole in the center here. Oh. Dropped my stitch, as we say. So let's do this then. Why am I forever dropping my stitch? There we go, single crochet. Now an increase stitch is simply 2 single crochets into the same hole. So there's 1 into that hole. So now we're going to go back into that same hole. Just like that. Now we're going to do another increase, or another single crochet. So we go into the hole, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and then we're going to do another increase stitch. So again, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now at this point, we can remove our orange stitch marker. Go back into that same hole, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. And we have ourselves a little spike. Take a look, you guys. How cute is that? But I'm not 100% sure because it doesn't look like what that one looks like. So we might have done something wrong. So we're going to try this again. Because I think where I may have gone wrong is I may have had that opening a little too wide because I may have kept the green stitch counter or stitch marker in a bit too long. So we're gonna try this again and see if we can get this to look the way we need it to. Now I'm pretty sure the yarn tail is supposed to be... There we go. Alright. So we're gonna go 1, 2, and then one, one thing I've discovered, if your yarn doesn't go through like butter, your tension is probably too tight. Two. Three. And tension's a bit tight. 4. Now I am not fully seeing my V's. Ah, there we are. I think part of me kind of wishes they would have shown a little more on this. Part of me is glad that they didn't. So, single crochet, some of these V's are so little that I'm not sure I'm fully seeing them right. Yeah, that doesn't quite look right. I kind of wish she would have shown us a bit more. Maybe it's just me, but I kind of wish she would have shown us a bit more. Only because I sometimes have a hard time seeing the V's, especially on smaller things like this. And so maybe that's part of my issue is that because I'm having a harder time seeing it. Maybe that's why it's not quite turning out the way that I want it to. Although, keeping the yarn tail out of the way seems to be helping some. Maybe that's where my issue is. I was going outside in instead of inside out. That could have been part of my issue. Let's see. Let's make sure our tension's not too tight. Yeah, our tension's kind of tight. So we're going to go ahead and back out. Let our yarn get a little nicer and looser. We're going to go in through that whole loop. Now with amigurumi, you typically want your stitches to be tight because you're going to be stuffing and you don't want your stuffing to be falling out, you know? But if your stitches are too tight, then it makes it more difficult. Okay, going through there, we're going to do an increase stitch, which again is just a 2 single crochets into the same hole. So there's 1, 2. So now we do single crochet into this hole. Hey, how's it going, kitty? How's your morning so far? Is Saturday treating you pretty well? And then we end with our increase stitch. But somehow this isn't even looking right. It doesn't appear. Boy, my tail is really long. That could be part of my problem. Yeah, I think that's part of my problem right there is my yarn tail is really long. And so because of that, I can't turn it right side out. Let's see if I can make my slip knot without my tail being so long. You're still sleepy, but you're slowly waking up. There you go. That's all anyone can ask of you, right? Do you need some coffee? Let's see here. Let's turn this that way. And again, really long yarn tail. This is weird. I do not understand where... I do not understand where my long yarn tail, like why is it as, probably just because of the way I do it. No, we're not going to do that. Gotta blow my nose real quick. There we go. Yeah, I had to have coffee this morning too because, like, there was no way that I was going to be able to do much of anything without that coffee. Okay, so that's not as long. So that works. That should work fine. That should work a-okay then. Let's make it just a smidge looser. Dropped my stitch. So what does everybody have planned for the day? One, two, three, and four. Okay, so that, I believe, is my knot. One, two, three, four, yeah. So, let's try this again. Single, crochet, whoop, you're gonna be picking up and assembling a record shelf after lunch and then stream a bit after dinner. Nice, Techie! That's awesome! What color is the shelf? Gotta go, kiddo wants attention. Have fun! Hi, Minnie! Let's see. Somehow I don't think that one was correct. But yet, it also felt like it was correct at the same time. But it's not wanting to curve like it should. Alright, Third time's the charm. Or maybe it's fourth by now. Who knows? Once I figure this out, I'll be able to get all the other ones in. And made. Maybe I should have started with the belly. But on the plus side, at least the hole isn't as big as it was. Aw, hi and bye, Minnie. You have a wonderful day with Mom. Be good. Ooh, a black frame, rustic brown wood shelves. Love it. That sounds absolutely amazing. Let's see. Yeah, somehow that seems right to me. So we're gonna... Oh. I dropped my stitch. Why am I forever dropping stitches? We got a single crochet there. And then we're gonna... Oh, I can see my V that I need to go through. I just gotta get my hook to decide that it wants to go through. Come on. Swapping out a little rolling cupboard unit for the record shelf to get your albums closer to the player and off your bookshelf. I like it. Increase. There we go. Let's try this. Because again, once I get this figured out, I'll be able to get the other 4 done. I would assume fairly quickly. Now I gotta get back into that same hole and do an increase because that is what the pattern calls for. And yet again, I lost my V's. Well, then again, maybe not. These smaller ones tend to be hardest for me to start up for some reason. Maybe I just need to use my orange stitch marker. So that way I know where my first one is. Because once I know where my first one is, I ought to be okay. Come on. We can do this. We can chain stitch. I know we can. We've done chain stitches so many times. All right. Orange stitch marker. There we go. And then what? Now you guys know why it takes me forever to do any crochet project. Hey, how's it going, John? Good to see you, my friend. What have you been up to lately? Been so busy you haven't been able to tune in. Is HD keeping you pretty busy? 2, 3, and 4. Now we single crochet. We are attempting to make some spikes for the dinosaur I am making for my brother-in-law. But I am having the hardest time figuring this out. So we're doing an increase stitch on this one. Hey, how's it going, Mad Mamas? What are you up to today? Life is busy in general. Christmas was fun but involved. I can totally believe that. Did HD have a good service of hope? And this ought to be single crochet, but somehow this just does not seem to be opening the way that others have. Like it doesn't seem to be making almost like a bowl. Oh good, I'm glad it was good. What all was involved in it? Cause see how on hers it almost looks like a bowl? I'm having the hardest time getting mine to look like that bowl. But what's nice about having this is I can then say, oh, that is the stitch or the first stitch in round 1. So I can go, well, except for the fact that I yarned over and I almost did a double crochet. which I have a tendency to do, we are attempting to make some spikes and then a belly for the crochet dinosaur I am making for my brother-in-law. Two, three, and four. So now, working inside out, we have single crochet, oh my goodness, what in the world? All right, right? Dino! Eventually he will look just fine. But for now, we are having a hard time with the spikes. I may just forgo the spikes. I may just forgo the spikes and just do a belly. But he wouldn't look like a dino without the belly. Or without the spikes, I don't know. I don't think. Because he's supposed to look like a T-Rex. The main theme was the phrase Emmanuel and how Jesus is with us in the good, the bad, and now and through eternity when we put our trust in him. I love that. That is fantastic. That is a fantastic theme. And I'm so glad that it all went so well for you guys. What were some highlights? And then did you get to do anything on Christmas Day itself? All right, we're going to take a little bit of a stretch the fingers break because I need it. I can feel the tension in my shoulders. So we are going to just do some scissors to be able to stretch this out a bit. Because we have like 2 hours before I need to go and head up north a little bit to go pick up some family members that are flying in. So I'm like, we need to try and finish this. If we can't, then I'm just gonna do the belly because the belly seemed easier. Shifty made everybody cry? Oh my goodness, how did that happen? Yeah, I think I got this. It's just a matter of figuring out what I'm doing wrong, you know? It's a matter of figuring out, okay, what exactly is it that I either misremembered? Oh, that's no bueno. I made that stitch way too impossibly tight. There we go. All right, so now 1. Because this is what we're doing. We're doing round 1. And we're going to mark that exact stitch with our orange stitch marker. He really really does. He really does have a way with words. It's been a while since I've seen him stream. How is he doing? Family life keeping him pretty busy? Here we go. And that ought to be 3, yes. And this one, oh, will be 4. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Got my tension a bit too tight. Huh. Because as soon... Okay. I went back a couple. 1, 2. Oh, I prepped for a double crochet again. Good. I'm glad that he and the family are doing well. Oh, sorry guys, I did not mean to go right into an ad break. But don't you worry, we're just getting ourselves set up for another attempt. All right. Single crochet. And then I think this one's our increased stitch. If we got caught in the ad break before I said anything, I was just saying, yeah, I would love to see another Shifty stream, and then I'm glad he's doing well. Why does this seem so weird? Because it does not seem like it's making it round at all. It doesn't seem to be going into a bowl, and I'm having a hard time seeing my V's. Alright. Does anybody have anything fun planned for the weekend other than, like, let's see. Actually, I've asked kind of a bunch. What are some goals you guys have for the new year? All right. One, two, three, and four. Figuring out your long-term goals for the next 5, 10 years. Nice! That is something that I have never tried to do. Partly because I have such a hard time seeing where I'll be in 5 years. I don't know why. I kind of just have taken this, like anytime, you know how everybody, when you're interviewed, kind of asks you, where do you see yourself in 5 years? That is my worst, that is like the worst question that you could ask me because I just have a hard time seeing that far. And I'm like, well, if I. Because there's so many things that could happen in those 5 years. Like, I could get married, I could move, I could have a new job, I could have kids, you know? Like, there's so much that can happen in 5 to 10 years that to me it's so hard to plan because there are so many unknowns. So I can say where I would like, where I like if I had my way, this is where I would be in 5 years. But I can't say for sure this is where I'll be because there's so many unknowns. I think this is it. But again, it is not making a bowl shape. And I don't understand fully why it's not making. Because, see, it's kind of starting to, but at the same time, it looks nothing like what's on the screen. 5-ish year goals. Make more, give more. You want to have a nice party for your 50th since they thought they never thought you'd live to 5. Oh, wow. Did you have some health issues as a youngin' techie? I really wish that they would have given us... Alright, here's what we'll do. We're going to do this. We're going to go back a video, or a couple videos, to the channel.
It's time to learn how to start a round crochet piece all by yourself. Round crochet pieces, like plushies or hats, often start with something called a magic loop. It's called magical because there's no hole in the center. That's why it's extremely popular for amigurumi plushies in particular, because it looks nice and neat. But since it's your first time crocheting, a magic loop can be pretty hard to do. So instead of doing this technique, I'm going to show you how to do this technique, which is called crocheting a ring into a chain. As you can see, there's a small hole in the middle, but the plus side is it's easier to do, so at least you'll have a circle to be able to crochet into. If you'd rather take on the challenge of learning how to make a magic loop, click on the help icon below. Otherwise, grab your green yarn and follow along. You first need to make what's called a slip knot.
We've already done that.
Now put the loop that you
already done
now
that.
You're going to make what's called
done that.
Now we're going to make a second chain stitch, so stick your hook.
Done that.
Okay, now we are ready to create a single crochet stitch. This is the first single crochet stitch of however many single crochet stitches the pattern says to put in the magic loop. So we want to put it in the first chain we made, which is the one that we marked with this green stitch marker. So pull the green stitch marker so it gets out of your way, and then stick your hook in the hole. So we're going to do a single crochet stitch like we have been. The only difference is that when you start, it looks like you've got 2 strands of yarn on the hook this time. So yarn over, bring the yarn through the hole that the hook just went through. So you've got 2 loops on your hook, yarn over again, and pull through both loops on the hook. And you've completed the first single crochet stitch.
Well, I guess we'll just do this and see. Alright, so we've done that.
And just like we did with the first stitch of every round that we made in the body, we want to pause and pick up the orange stitch marker and put it in the first stitch that we just made, because this is the first stitch of round 1. So tilt your piece to look at the rim, look at what V the loop on your hook traces back into. That is the V that you just made, the first stitch you just made. You can take your hook out, by the way, to make this easier. Stick your orange stitch marker under that V so that now you know where your round starts.
So this will be our... These holes have to be so little. The whole kidney disease thing took him a while to figure out. Originally had some gastro issues and was barely eating. Oh, wow. That's intense, Techie. That definitely sounds like it would have been a very wild ride. All right. We can do this. We can do this. Starting to feel just a bit, not necessarily discouraged, more just confused and a bit frustrated that I can't seem to figure this out. There we go. There's our green stitch marker. One. Two. Three. Four. Orange stitch marker went, whoa! No, I don't want you doing that. There we go. That's what I want you to do. Okay, so now we can take this one out. You can go into this hole now.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff.
Hold on 1 second. Hey, Lane, how's it going? We are attempting to figure out why this doesn't seem to want to do what I need it to do. to make a spike. Let's see if we did this, 'cause that looks to be my next one. This ought to be my increase stitch. We're gonna go back into that same hole. And then we have a single crochet, and then an increase. Let's take a look at the bag here. Where's the bag? Oh, there went my hairbrush. Okay, so the spikes are supposed to look like that. My spike, on the other hand, is not looking that way. It doesn't want to curve. And I don't understand why. Why? I can't even get it to turn right side out. That's the bigger issue. Because I feel like I'm doing everything right, but it's not turning out the way it's supposed to. So I think what I'm gonna do, instead of making you guys sit and watch me fiddle with this for who knows how long, we are going to do the belly first.
Now for the finishing touch, embroidering the belly. Thread a tapestry needle with an arm's length of yellow yarn, and then stick the needle somewhere off to the side of the dino and bring it out one stitch to the left of the dinosaur's right arm, and pull that through until we've got about 6 inches left of the yarn tail.
About an arm's length, she said? So we are measuring our yarn. Oh, no worries, Marnius. You have a wonderful, wonderful day, and thank you so much, because I'm not 100% sure how I'm feeling about this. So we're gonna just toss that extra yarn there. Gonna thread our needle. Thank you. I appreciate it. 'Cause I might need to just end it with not having spikes and see maybe if my sister might be able to help me. Alright, let's
Now for the
replay.
finishing touch, embroidering the belly. Thread a tapestry needle with an arm's length of yellow yarn, and then stick the needle somewhere off to the side of the dino and bring it out one stitch to the left of the dinosaur's right arm, and pull that through until we've got about 6 inches left of the yarn tail.
So she said 1 inch? Right, Cutiesaurus Max. His name is Fred the Dino, but we can also call him Cutiesaurus. I like it.
Now for the finishing touch, embroidering the belly.
No
Thread
worries.
a
Have a
tapestry
good
needle with an
day.
arm's length of yellow yarn, and then stick the needle somewhere off to the side of the dino and bring it out one stitch to the left of the dinosaur's right arm, and pull that through until we've got about 6 inches left of the yarn tail.
Oh, is it in line with the arm? So I need to bring it up a stitch then. Thank you. Let's see. Right about there ought to be about 6 inches.
Then put the needle into the body, one stitch to the right of the left arm, and pull it out one round down and one hole a little bit to the left of that.
Okay. One round. Okay, so what's
Then
that
put
last
the
part?
needle into the body,
Oh, that's
one
not
stitch to
straight.
the right of the left arm, and pull it out one round down and one hole a little bit to the left of that.
Okay. So I want to make sure this is nice and straight. Oh. So that was why I unthreaded my needle, because I had to go back one because it wasn't nice and straight like it should be. There, that looks a little more straight. See? A little more straight. But I think I need to bring it over one more. I think I need to bring it over one more hole. To make it just as straight as can be. And then we're gonna go back in, go down one.
Then put the needle into the body, one stitch to the right of the left arm, and pull it out one round down and one hole a little bit to the left of that.
That ought to work.
Then put the needle a little bit to the right of the right edge of the previous line, so we're making a slightly wider line. And now we're going to start an even wider line. So bring the needle out one round down and again a little bit off to the right, and pull just tight enough so that you've got a nice line that's flat on the body. Keep on doing this pattern, but for the 4th and 5th stripe, you're actually going to bring the needle a little bit in because you want to make some narrower stripes. So the 4th stripe is narrower than the 3rd, and the 5th stripe is even narrower than the 4th.
Well, that doesn't look right at all. So we unthread a tiny bit. And we're going to go back out a tiny bit. Because for some reason, maybe it's because my arms aren't quite where they need to be. Like they're not quite in line with each other. Maybe that's part of the issue there. Threading has always been my enemy. I don't know why, but for some reason my fingers just do not like threading. So let's see here. Where can I go where this will look like it's straight? There we go. There we go. That looks right. That at least looks right. Except for, I don't think I've given myself enough tail to be able to do what I want it to do. Because I've got a long tail here, but I think I got backwards where everything was supposed to be. So let's just try this again, shall we? Because I think the belly, once I get the belly done, that ought to be pretty...
Hello, sweetie.
Gloria! Gloria, Florida Real Estate. Thank you so much for the follow. How did you find the channel? And tell me a little about yourself, if you feel comfortable doing so. No pressure whatsoever. My name is Donna. I'm a family-friendly Christian variety streamer. And we do a lot of different things. We do some crochet, we play video games, we talk about anything and everything. And today we are attempting to finish a crochet project I've been working on for my brother-in-law because he absolutely loves dinosaurs. Alright, so we're going to start this
Then
part
put
over.
the needle into the body, 1 stitch. Now for the finishing touch, embroidering the belly. Thread a tapestry needle with an arm's length of yellow yarn, and then stick the needle somewhere off to the side of the dino and bring it out 1 stitch to the left of the dinosaur's right arm, and pull that through until we've got about 6 inches left of the yarn tail.
Just looking through Makers and Crafting, saw I'm a Christian and wanted to stop in and say hi. Well, thank you. I'm so glad you did. So tell me a little about yourself. Do you enjoy makers and do you enjoy crafting, crochet, gaming?
Then put the needle into the body, 1 stitch to the right of the left arm, and pull it out 1 round down and 1 hole a little bit to the left of that.
Let's see. Ooh, you do some crochet and some jewelry making. Ooh. What kind of jewelry do you like to make? Earrings. Nice. What is your favorite pair of earrings that you have ever made? Ooh, and some necklaces?
Then put the needle
Nice.
a little bit to the right of the right edge of the previous line, so we're making a slightly wider line, and now we're going to start an even wider line. So bring the needle out 1 round down and again a little bit off to the right, and pull just tight enough so that you've got a nice line that's flat on the body. Keep on doing this pattern, but for the 4th and 5th stripe, you're actually going to bring the needle a little bit in because you want to make some narrower stripes. So the 4th stripe is narrower than the 3rd, and the 5th stripe is even narrower than the 4th.
So we're making the belly of our crochet dino. Whoop. I figured out what I did wrong there. Give me just a second, because I made a little bit of a boo-boo. Your favorite pair was red and clear crystals and little balls. Lots of fun, sparkly, and jiggly movements. I love that! I used to have pierced ears back when I was like in elementary, middle school, somewhere in there. But then, just came to realize, not the biggest fan, I guess. Like, I don't know. I don't know what it was. Like, I wanted earrings for the longest time. And then I got them, and then I was like, maybe not my thing like I thought they were. But I love the look of earrings. I just don't know. Maybe I never found the right pair for me. because I love seeing what earrings other people wear. That's like one of my favorite things is necklaces and earrings that other people wear is something that I'm like, yes. So now we're going to make a bit narrower of one. Make a bit narrower. Ooh, you love the little jingle bells? Those are always so much fun. Oh, nope, we're not gonna force. I'm not gonna force it to do something it don't want to do. There we go. I did not find a hole. I found a stitch. Hey, how's it going, Mad Mamas? What you doing these days? Just keeping up with the family and everything? Everybody doing well? We're just still here attempting to make the belly, because I've not necessarily given up on the spikes, but I've kind of decided we're gonna renew my confidence in myself by doing something a little bit easier. I love your little dancing, jiggling emote. Your little cow wiggle. Keeping up with the family right now, attempting to clean off your desk. Oh yeah, that... Man, yesterday was my cleaning day, and I was like, dude, there's a lot of cleaning that needed to be done. At some point, I'll vacuum the bedroom, but yesterday was not that day. I'm glad you guys are all healthy, though. That's a definite plus. Because I know there have been a lot of colds going around. A lot of colds. Well, on the plus side, I at least kept it together. Because I actually had a cold for a good couple of weeks. And that was super, super annoying because, like, the cough is always, always, always the last thing to go. I don't know why that is, but it is. He has a belly!
To finish that last stripe, stick the needle in that last point and then bring it out of the same hole that the needle originally went into the body. So now both yarn tails are coming out of the same hole. And then you'll want to tie a knot with both yarn tails, thread the needle with both yarn tails to speed things up. And if it helps, you can also trim the longer of the yarn tails to make it a little easier to work with. And then you're just going to hide the yarn tails inside the piece by sticking the needle in the same hole that the yarn tails are currently coming out of and pulling it out on some other side of the piece. And remember to cut the yarn tails as close as possible to the surface of the piece, and then massage it so the yarn tails disappear inside of the piece.
Okay, so we're gonna do that. Or at least we're gonna attempt to. There we go. We're gonna tie our knot. Let's see, how close did she tie that knot?
To finish that last stripe, stick the needle in that last point and then bring it out of the same hole that the needle originally went into the body. So now both yarn tails are coming out of the same hole. And then you'll want to tie a knot with both yarn tails, thread the needle with both yarn tails to speed things up. And if it helps, you can also trim the longer of the yarn tails to make it a little easier to work with. And then you're just going to hide the yarn tails inside the piece by sticking the needle in the same hole that the yarn tails are currently coming out of and pulling it out on some other side of the piece. You're just going to hide the yarn tails inside the piece, the longer of the yarn tails to make it a little easier to work with. And then you're just going to hide the yarn tails inside the piece by sticking the needle in the thread the needle with both yarn tails to speed things up.
Which
And if it
I did
helps,
not do.
you can also trim the longer of the yarn tails to make it a little easier to work with. And then you're just going to hide the yarn tails inside the piece by sticking the needle in the same hole that the yarn tails are currently coming out of and pulling it out on some other side of the piece. And remember to cut the yarn tails as close as possible to the surface of the piece, and then massage it so the yarn tails disappear inside of the piece.
Well, let's see if I can do this. Hey, how's it going, Living Frost? Hope you're doing well. We are almost done making the belly for our little dino friend. Right now we are on the last step. So we are threading our needle with both yarn tails. Well, hello there, Mystic Mama. And thank you oh, back to work for now. Enjoy, Gloria. Okay, we're gonna watch this one more time and
To finish that last stripe, stick the needle in that last point and then bring it out of the same hole that the needle originally went into the body. So now both yarn tails are coming out of the same hole. And then you'll want to tie a knot with both yarn tails, thread the needle with both yarn
you
tails
tie the
to
knot
speed things up.
first.
And if it helps, you can also trim the longer of the yarn tails to make it a little easier to work with. And then you're just going to hide the yarn tails inside the piece by sticking the needle in the same hole that the yarn tails are currently coming out of and pulling it out on some other side of the piece. And remember to cut the yarn tails as close as possible to the surface of the piece, and then massage it so the yarn tails disappear inside of the piece.
Okay, so we tied our knot. So now we're gonna thread our needle. Oh, come on. Come on, fingers. Grab some of that yarn. There we go. And then we need this one. I know you guys can't see what I'm doing at the moment, but I will let you guys see in a second. Right now I'm just attempting to thread our needle. Doing a little spinny spin with the thread, or with the yarn, to make that ever so slightly easier on me. There we go. Okay, so we've
To finish that
done
last
that.
stripe, so now both yarn tails are coming out of the same hole. And then you'll want to tie a knot with both yarn tails.
Which I've
Thread the
done.
needle with both yarn tails to speed things up. And if it helps, you can also trim the longer of the yarn tails to make it a little easier to work with. And then you're just going to hide the yarn tails inside the piece by sticking the needle in the same hole that the yarn tails are currently coming out of and pulling it out on some other side of the piece. And remember to cut the yarn tails as close as possible to the surface of the piece, and then massage it so the yarn tails disappear inside of the piece.
Okay. Pull it out on some other side. We can go a little further. Whoop, 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 whoop. That's not what I want to do. Oh, not quite that far. Well, great. There we go. So there we go, and then we'll just make it disappear. There we go. Hey, Crazy Flyers gal, how's it going? So we have the belly all set to go, and we have a whole bunch of yellow yarn left to make a few spikes if we're able to. We will see if we're able to make these spikes because they were a bit tricky. We are not going to play the all done video yet because we are not technically done. All right. 1. 2. 3. And 4. So we're going to go back to the spikes video.
Next up, the spikes.
Which we've been trying to work on. All right. Working on a loom knit sweater. Nice! What colors did you choose? Oh, I set myself up for a double crochet. So we're gonna just start all of that over again. Ooh, red. Nice. Any particular shade of red? And are you making it for yourself or as a present or who is it for? The project we're working on is for my brother-in-law. And he is coming to town today. So we are attempting to make this before he gets here. We're attempting to finish. Oh, you want a Scottish accent, do you? Well, for the next 5 minutes, I've got to talk in a Scottish accent now. So, for the single crochet, we have you go into the stitch and then you yarn over and then you pull through 2 and you do it again. You yarn over, you pull through 2. And then we've also got in this upcoming round, we have the increase stitch, which is simply 2 single crochets into the same stitch. But right now we are making the magic loop with 4 single crochets. So we have our first one, working on our second one, 2, 3, and 4. Now our single crochet once again, increase stitch, which is 2 single crochets into the same hole. So here is 1/2 of our increase stitch. We've got to go once again into that same stitch, two. So now we have another single crochet, and an increase stitch. Alright, we've got 2 more minutes in a Scottish accent, and then we have the attempt at Australian. Somehow it is not coming out looking too much like a spike, because the spikes are supposed to look like this. There. They are supposed to be all nice and pointy, and mine aren't for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe am I like looking at it wrong? Because this is my first amigurumi project. So I have not been crocheting for very long. So I have no idea if I'm even doing this right. because they are supposed to it is supposed to look like that at the end. And I don't know why it isn't. Let's see if the video can help us a bit.
Next up, the spikes. Grab your yellow yarn and make 5 of these. One thing I want to show you is that when you do the invisible fasten off, it's going to take your piece from looking like a circle into a cone, which is exactly what you want to happen. So don't worry that it bends like that. So
We
notice how
do
when I
have an
finish
ad
that
break
invisible
coming
fasten
up.
off, all of a sudden my flat shape becomes like a little pita pocket. Also, if you haven't already, make sure that you flip your piece inside out so that the right side of the piece is facing out.
We've got an ad break coming up, so I'm going to keep speaking in a Scottish accent until the ad break. And then I'm going to go to BRB so that I can get a little bit of a stretch break in while you guys are in ads and you don't miss a single thing. And when we get back, we will attempt to do the Australian accent. Alright, ad break is getting ready to start. So, into BRB so you know that you are not missing a thing. See you guys in a minute. Alright, we're back. We're gonna attempt to do the Australian accent, which I make no promises as to how good it's going to be. I apologize in advance to any Aussie viewers. crikey, have a look at this little beauty. All right, now we've got this, these spikes, right? And, we've got to use our yellow yarn to make a magic loop. So we are going to yarn over. Yeah, it's terrible. I'm sorry. Thank you. My friend Kishu, she has the best Aussie accent I've ever heard. And and she somehow mine no, I just went southern. I don't know why that happened. Hold on. Hold on. I gotta start this again because somehow my brain is just herping and derping at the moment. Alright, I need to attempt to do the Australian accent. I need to try. In the wilds of Montana, we've got this wild turkey. Well, hello? Uh, Kishu does such a better job at this. I haven't watched enough Bluey. Hello there, Free Fun Wave. I am from the great state of Arizona. How about you? Where are you from? If you're comfortable saying. All right, we've got to make 4 stitches in the round, and we've got to it's almost going Scottish for some reason. The Sunshine State with the new chip making factories. Sorry, didn't want to cough into your guys' ears and blow your eardrums. A half Dutch, half Texan, grew up in the Netherlands, but nowadays you live everywhere. Nice! It's grand, and we've got all the wonderful Grand Canyon, and now I've lost count of how many stitches I've got, and that's my fault, not you. So I've got to start over. I've got an hour to make like 5 of these. It's going southern again. Oh, wow. Well, I think that was about 5 minutes of attempting the Australian accent. I apologize to anyone who may or may not be offended. Well, I do know a little bit of sign language. If you know ASL, I can try to sign for you. I had a class in ASL about 5 or 10 years ago. Huh. Oh, cool. You know ASL too? That is so cool, Mad Mamas. My friend Ladyfoes also knows some ASL. Oh, it just means you have 90% hearing and only in one ear only, your left ear. Okay. Wow. So do you get like accommodations and stuff like that? Yeah, I remember taking a class in ASL about 5 or 10 years ago, and it was a really fun class. I remember our final was we had to go to a restaurant. Oh, you blew your eardrum out at a concert? Oh, man. That must have been like a really, really loud concert. But our final was we went to a restaurant. We had to give a presentation, but we also had to order in sign language. Oh, you were at a Green Day concert right next to the speakers? Oh, man. And our professor was our interpreter for the restaurant. And I remember I had ordered the chicken tenders because A, chicken tenders are one of my favorite things in the entire world, but B, it was also something I knew the sign for. And so I could just go chicken, and have that work. And then I remember the waiter, he came up to me with my food and he goes right into my ear, he goes, "Hot," in this like loud, a little bit louder voice. And I just remember thinking to myself, if I were really deaf, I would not have been able to hear you. No matter how loud you speak, I'm not going to be able to hear you going, "Hey, be careful, it's hot." But yet it also, in a way, does kind of make sense. I think I may have figured out my issue. I may have figured out my issue. I think what it is my crochet position was wrong. There we go. Perfect. Where's my other... Well, you know what? We'll just do this. We'll just use this one. You can read lips when someone's talking. Nice! That is such a cool ability. Do you find that some words are easier to lip read than others? And yeah, forgetting earplugs, that's a definite definite thing. Really? Is that really not it? What in the world? Okay. Alright, let's move the tail here. And closed captions are your friend. Yes. I watch a lot of my TV with the closed captions on because I just don't want to miss a thing. There we go. We're just adjusting the green stitch marker a bit. Punk Disaster Tour of 98. Nice! That is super cool that you were able to go to that. And that, I mean, even though, you know, obviously losing your hearing at it was probably not the most fun aspect of it. But at the same time, how many people can say they've been to a Green Day concert? You had the time of your life. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Did you guys see I think it was like a Super Bowl commercial with Eli Manning and one of his teammates, I can't remember who, and they were doing the I've had the time of my life dance. Ah, almost lost my stitch. There we go. Alright, so this is an increased stitch, so we're going to go back into that same hole. Do do dum bum 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 ba dum ba da 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 da, stand by me. And the writing na 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 magical fantasy. Let's see, did I lose the... I think we'll just try that. Good Riddance had come out the year before. They closed each venue with it, and the crowd singing. Oh, that's cool! I haven't listened to a whole lot of Green Day. I know, obviously, Wake Me Up When September Ends. But that's about it. Oh, and American Idiot. Okay, so that at least looks a little more bowl shaped, I guess. And I forget how to do the invisible fasten off. So we're going to go back to the tail.
So you've finished the last stitch of the last round of your piece, and now we need to make what's called an invisible fasten off. So right now, this piece is going to have a visible open edge on our plushie, and we don't like how it looks like there's this gap, this jump between the first stitch of the round and the last stitch of the round. Doing the invisible fasten off is going to smooth that so it looks like one nice smooth circle, and we're going to do that by creating a fake horizontal V. To do the invisible fasten off, you're going to need the tapestry needle that came in the envelope labeled the wee woobly bits that came in your kit. So first thing you got to do is cut a yarn tail. And the way you tell how long to cut that yarn tail is that one, you want it to be at least 6 inches long. But if you're going to be attaching this piece to another piece, you need this yarn to be long enough that you can use it to sew this piece onto the other piece. So it's got to be at least 3 times the length of the edge of whatever piece is going to be sewn on, just to be safe. So I'm going to cut it right around here. Then you can pull your hook away from the piece so that the loop that's on the hook gets really big until the yarn goes completely through that last stitch that you made. And then you can put your hook aside. You don't need that anymore. Now that you have a yarn tail, you're going to thread that yarn tail through the tapestry needle that came in your kit.
I don't know. Oh, there was an ASL interpreter at 2 of the venues? That is so cool. Let's see. We're gonna eyeball about 6 inches. I don't know. Somehow this doesn't seem right. You miss going touring? Aw. I hope one day you might get to again. I need to check and make sure of something real quick. Okay. Good. I still have time. Good. Because I've got to make sure that I leave right at 11 my time. Because I don't, with how long this tail is, I don't see how I'm going to be able to turn it right side out. Especially with how small it is. Viking is your late sister's 1960s VW bus. Aww. I love that.
Next up, the spikes. Grab your yellow yarn and
I hope that Viking gets back in operation soon.
That when you do the invisible fasten off, it's going to take your piece from looking like a circle into a cone, which is exactly what you want to happen. So don't worry that it bends like that. So notice how when I finish that invisible fasten off, all of a sudden my flat shape becomes like a little pita pocket. Also, if you haven't already, make sure that you flip your piece inside out so that the right side of the piece is facing out.
You know what? What do you guys think? Does he look cool enough without spikes? Does he look like a dino without spikes? Or does he need spikes? Because there were dinosaurs without spikes. Yeah, it's not so much that they have to be perfect. It's that I'm worried that when I have to, I don't know how I'm going to turn this right side out. I don't know how I'm going to do that because I'm going to have to trim this yarn tail, and I'm worried that that's going to make everything come undone. Does that make sense? It's just so small, I don't know if I can turn it. Because it is not wanting to turn easily. Is there a tip or trick with that? Because it's so small. I don't see how I'm going to get it to turn. Oh. So kind of go pushing on where the knot is. Just kind of go... Yeah, that doesn't necessarily seem to be making it do what I want it to do. Again, not trying to be a perfectionist, just more a realist. Yeah, I'm not sure it's gonna turn. Because I'm using both ends. It is not wanting to turn. Yeah, again, it's not so much that I'm trying to be perfectionistic about it. It's more, and I'm attempting to get it to do what I want it to do, and it's not wanting to do it. My yarn is not wanting to cooperate with me. Thank you so much for the lurk. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about the spikes. I don't think I'm ready for that yet. I just don't think it's gonna work.
Hello, sweetie.
Hey, how's it going, Dayhawk? And thank you for the follow, Crazy Flyers gal. You got a job. 2025 is looking up. Got hired as a fitness model. You're the before picture. Oh, Dayhawk, I'm sure you look just fine. You know what? I think we're going to take a break from this. We're going to leave it as is. I can always show it to my brother-in-law as is and say, I'm going to be working on the spikes, but I wanted you to see it. And if you want the spikes, I'll try to make them. If you don't, then here you go. I think that's what we're going to do, because the yarn is just not doing what I want it to do. Hey, Captain America! How you doing? It's been a little bit, my friend. I hope you're doing well. I'm just glad I've at least got the belly. Alright, so we're going to put my little wee woobly bits back together. There we go. Put the green yarn there. Dad's scissors up here. Crochet hook there. Gonna apply for an undie model one next. If you like a 40-ish George Costanza? I'm not sure who that is. But I think what we're gonna do, since I don't want you guys to feel like you're cheated of time with me, I want to make sure we go the full time. Hey, Starlina! You got some fudge that arrived today, and I would not believe the name of it. Ooh, do tell! I'm always looking for good fudge. I think what we're gonna do to end our time together is... There we go. Sorry. We're going to do a little bit of Fortnite. So let me go to just chatting while I finish this and get this all set up. It's called Uranus fudge. Oh my gosh. That is hysterical. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Part of it is that I have so many books. I have so many books that I need to just like either look through and see which ones I'm not reading anymore and box those up and put them in storage or something. But technically that is supposed to be my video game area, plus my 4 favorite commander decks for Magic the Gathering. But I also have stuff back there that I need to clean up. It's okay. I had a cleaning day yesterday. Got a majority of what I wanted done. So... let me get game capture doing what we want it to do. Ooh, let me take a look at that real quick. Oh my gosh, Dayhawk. I do. I have 2 Who decks. There we go. We're ready. I'm going to turn off studio mode. Oops, sorry. I thought I had muted. I've got the David Tennant Who deck, and then I've got the Tom Baker Who deck. And then I also have a couple that are based around D&D. So we're just going to end with one round of Fortnite before we go. You've been turning your old poems into songs. You got the LOTR pre-built, you need to actually play at some point. Heck yes! I have seen some of those Lord of the Rings ones, and I am excited. I love the one with Sam and I think it's Sam and Frodo? Or I know it has at least Sam. Boss Librarian! I am so sorry I missed your follow. Thank you! We'll go to Lost Lake. And I love that Sam collects food. Like, that is hysterical to me, and I love it. You have literally the funniest video you've ever done to send to me. I need to see this, Captain America! Let's see if we can swim out to the boat here in the next 20 seconds. They really did all look super fun. Heck yeah, we're on a boat. We're on a boat. Hey, look at us, we're on a boat. They really do look fun, and the Doctor Who ones look fun too. I need to run mine because, yeah, I haven't had a chance to run them at all. So I'm still figuring out, you know, obviously all the different abilities that they have and everything. Because I know they have like a separate little like playmat thing. And so I'm like, I need to figure that all out. Because I know they have different things that you can like set aside and things like that. You haven't played since 2020 when pandemic killed your playgroup. Aw, yeah. The pandemic had a way of just killing everything. There we go. Because I had a D&D group that I was part of for a while. And we took, like, the longest break. Because of COVID. It was so sad. Oh, is it in this room? Oh, it's under the staircase, probably. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, I haven't played a whole lot of Magic the Gathering in a while. You used to get together with coworkers almost every weekend, then pandemic, job and schedule changes, life, exactly. And that makes sense, you know? Because you've got to make sure that you're staying safe. Got to make sure that your group is all healthy, able to do what they need to do. And then, you know, obviously, job comes before a game. You know what I mean? As much as I hate to admit it. I wish there were more hours in a day so that we could get a whole lot more done and be able to do more in a day. That would be absolutely fantastic. The last time we got together after lockdown was over, we all ended up with COVID the next week. Oh no! That is rough, man. That is super rough. go. We can reload our weapons faster now. Check that out. No! Not the waterfall! That is not what I wanted! This is not what I wanted. This is not what I planned. And I just gotta say, I do not understand. Well, actually I do, but... I overjumped that one. Something is really, something's not right, really wrong. And we've gotta get things back where they belong. We can do it. No. Okay, we can do this. We can do that. That'll work. That'll get me back where I want to be. And then I gotta make sure I end up on this. There we go. And as the French say, parfait! So now we gotta find some action. I kind of like the sword when I'm the one in charge. You know? Like, when I'm the one using all these OP weapons, I like them. When they're used against me, no me gusta. Like, I remember when they did the, I remember when they did the, was it My Hero? I think it was the My Hero crossover. And they had what my friends and I called the Benihana. And that was essentially the Kamehameha! There we go. That way I've got full stuffs. Found some action. Yes, I did. Although now my internet might be being weird, but we'll see if it'll hold up. So far it seems to be. Is everything still clear on your guys' end? There we go. Get some ammo that I need. At least I've got a lot more of the assault rifle ammo. What I would love to see is a spot to upgrade so I can get my My pistol upgraded to blue. But alack and alas, I do not see an upgrade station. But hey, we leveled up. Yeah, let the character decide. Well, we are going right towards the edge of circle. So we're gonna backtrack. Go back from whence we came. I've been going through a YouVersion plan with Lux Digital Church, and it's the Bible in a year, but with I think it's Nikki and Pippa Gumble, and they seem really really cool. They've got British accents, and so listening to the devotional is always fun for me, hearing their accent. And then it takes you through the whole Bible in a year, but you're not necessarily always doing a full chapter a day. You're doing, maybe part of one chapter, but you have a psalm, an Old Testament passage, and a New Testament passage. In addition to the devotional, and it's really cool. It's really well done. I like a lot of what they have to say. So there's that. We got that. Are you guys going through any cool Bible reading plans? Or devotionals or anything like that? There we go. Had a little phlegm there, but that is okay. We are keeping hydrated. Oh, we got some action somewhere. There we go. Let's head towards some action. So it looks like we have a few dropped frames, but not terrible. So that's good. Oh, I get the feeling it's somebody battling some NPCs. We're gonna go up this way in hopes that they don't see me. My goal is to be top 10. Alright, let's see if we can creep along up here. We can do this. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Not right now. There we go. Okay, we got 12 more players. And 15 minutes before I need to leave. Okay, we had a few more dropped frames, but that makes sense considering what was going on there. We are officially top 10! On the plus side, it looks like stream is still going. We have not had a lapse in stream coverage. So that's good. It looks like whatever it was smoothed out. And now we are back in circle, which is my comfort area. We are gonna hang out here a second while I do some stretchy stretch. Because I need the stretchies. We've got some action over that way, but we don't necessarily need to be a part